This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. All right, y'all know what it is. It's Friday. Well, yeah, it's Friday. We got G Bush on the show today. And G Bush, first and foremost, I gotta say congratulations. You know, they was out, they had your business out in the street. I woke up, refreshed Twitter. I'm like, why am I finding out that my homeboy got a contract renewal?
This is how you know, like this. It be
they ain't
like,
put the numbers out there. You need an agent for the numbers, I guess. Like, hey, G Bush inside the.
They ain't hit me with those numbers, bro. Like, but I'm like, dang, man, white people is great, man. They just got all the sources. You ain't got to say nothing. I thought I went to sleep.
That's how you found out you got an extension.
Oh, we know. I'm like, what? Lucky on child support, nothing.
Like I ain't agree to nothing, but yeah, no, you gonna take this deal.
And then here's the thing. I mean, you gonna tell them? I mean, I don't know. This is gonna show up. Provide like this is Friday, so that means that you will see that my man Q was just on UCSS, man. You know, congratulations. I told you. Listen, you got like a beehive, bro. You got like a Beyonce hive of people like in yours. Like you got a real cult over here, bro. These people will show up at your door. Where's Quincy at? I said, you know. What do you mean? No, we know where he's at. He needs to be on UCSS. I said, I'm working on it.
The streets demanded. The streets
they demanded it so much that I just had to tell him. I said, listen, you're gonna have to put hhim on like immediately, or these dudes is they showing up at my job, bro. Like they're harassing me. But shout out to all the people over here. But definitely always get a good opportunity to see you go back and forth with Adam the Bull.
Oh yeah. Last time we went into it, I thought the shot was gonna go 6-0. So maybe I shoot back. Maybe I won't predict undefeated for DTR. Like that's
listen.
They're not about to get me like that again. Nah.
No undefeated. Like the 6-0. That's where that's where the Kool-Aid Mafia came from. I started like I said 6-0 Kool-Aid back then. You was like, yup. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. The Sean Watts is 6-0.
Oh, so what you telling me is that I get 50% of all Kool-Aid merch?
No. I just sent that cease and desist. Cease and desist.
I should send a cease and desist. You know what I mean?
Oh, this is crazy. DTR, ain't it crazy how it works? We come back full circle, and it's DTR again, man. I'm excited. You excited?
Hey, man. Want to see what the young fella got, right? Like, yeah. I feel better about him being able to do something than like PJ Walker. No disrespect to PJ. I thought PJ came in there. You won the games that you needed to with him, right? And then you actually won one you didn't think you would get with him. So, DTR comes in here.
I don't know, Q. Quincy, listen, PJ Walker was your Case Keenum. He was your Case Keenum.
One more games than Case Keenum. One more games than Case Keenum. Say what you want about PJ and all them interceptions he be throwing. You know what else he throws? Dots at the end of the game. You know what I mean? Like, look.
Listen, he done rationalized the dots now.
Yep. Look. I tell people this all the time about PJ Walker. He is not the kind of guy that you want in a game that you know you gonna win, but in a game that you might lose. Oh, you want to throw PJ Walker out there because guess what, man? If you think you're going to lose that game, PJ ain't going to hurt you. He just going to do stuff to lose you if you have a bad one, but PJ could have a good one, right?
That's that reverse psychology. This is how you know he good, because when Quincy do 17 videos a day, like he good at talking himself in and out of moves. So you're like, you know what? That is a good. You be sitting here and be like, I don't know about that. And you be like, hold on, he said it in a way that made me feel a certain type of way. You're right. Maybe PJ Walker's the dude that you really want to bring into a nuclear war. He don't even know he gonna die, but he might get. That's what I'm saying.
Look, nobody is gonna be as willing to throw the Hail Mary at the end of the game as PJ Walker. He don't care about that interception. Like, he don't care about that interception. Like, what he gonna do about that? You know, DTR get in there, he might throw the under or something like that. But PJ, hey, bro, if I ain't going for everything, what am I out here for?
And like it's funny because his peoples know like it's automatic. Like everybody he played playground football with, tap below the waist, college, pro, XFL, they all know, hey, PJ good for two. Two of
Hey,
them things. He gonna throw two of them things. Don't even worry about it. That's just what PJ do.
hey,
I'm like, how you let him get that off? He 2 to 3 turnovers a game. You just like, it's PJ. Don't worry about it.
because you know what PJ gonna do? Give me that ball, bruh. Like, I bet Amari Cooper got no issues with PJ Walker.
Oh no,
Like,
Mark Cooper's aggressive with him.
I always talk about this. Look, the dynamic of what people want from a quarterback position in the football locker room changes drastically based on what position group you're talking to, right? Defensive line, linebackers, offensive linemen, just take care of that ball, right? They just want somebody who's going to take care of that. They love Kirk Cousins, right? DBs, wide receivers, safeties, hey, they want somebody that's gonna throw them things, dog.
They want the Ryan Fitzpatrick tree.
Mm-hmm.
They want that. A PJ Walker, his highest evolutionary state. When he go watch film, he looking at Jameis Winston. He like he thinks that's his goat. He like, nah, Jameis, watch how he throw this thing with no conscience, right? He see 3 dudes, he don't even care. Got no conscience.
Yeah, they like PJ Walker watches Pat Mahomes and goes, I don't see why I can't do that. Now there's reasons he can't do that, but he that's what he thinks to himself. And that mindset can be useful when it comes to like pulling off an upset, right? Like, because nobody look, one thing about PJ in that San Francisco game, you couldn't tell PJ he wasn't gonna win that game. Like
like this dude, like really, like he felt like he got so much like ridiculous confidence, and it's erroneous. He's like, yo, they put these jerseys on for me, the double setbacks. They were saving these. No, we didn't save those jerseys for you, PJ. That just so happened you was playing that game. Like,
hey, it didn't matter. Look, that's we got. When it comes to backups, you gotta just take them for what they are, and that's what PJ is. PJ is. He ain't Karis LeVert because he's not as consistent as Karis LeVert, which is a crazy sentence. But you know what he is? Jetty Osmond. And Jetty Osmond, like, once he get hot, oh boy, watch out. He's dropping bombs. But you know, you can't start Jetty Osmond, right? You can put Jetty Osmond in for a game or 2 and it's going to be okay. But you got to start Jetty Osmond for 8 games? Oh, no. That's why DTR is here, right?
Yeah.
But
we don't even really want like PJ playing the backup role. We don't want you talk like if DTR mess up, we don't want you talking like we don't want you on the MacBook Pro. We want you to go talk to the defense.
Deshaun will be there at the whole games. Like, hey man, don't do that. Yeah.
No.
Because PJ Walker be like, you know me. Hey, I get that one-on-one with Cool. I'm throwing it.
Like, how you predetermine that? And it'd be all predetermined under routes. Like it don't never be predetermined back.
No, PJ like, yo, once I confirm it's cover 3, this ball is going to Coop. I don't care what the rest of the read is. Hey, yo, it can work though. But that's look, God, there's a level of respect you gotta have for that, because all the things that drove us crazy about Baker Mayfield was he never did that with Odell Beckham. And we was just sitting here begging him to do that with Odell Beckham. So
like, man, come on, just throw it one time down there. One time for your man.
Just give him a shot. Quick. Just give him a shot. Nah, he always want to work in the structure of the offense. But let's talk a little bit about this situation. And it's been funny because I'm sensing a change, not within the team. I think the team's been who they've been all year. But I'm sensing a change in the fan base. It feels like that Baltimore win on the road was something that really got people on board in a different way, despite the fact that Deshaun Watson is out for the year. I'm hearing a lot more, hey, dog, we can still make the playoffs. Like, you know how Browns fans usually be getting, where it's like, oh, and maybe this is just the people who watch my videos. I don't know. But I've been hearing a lot more, we can bounce back. This going to be, look, it sucks that he's out, but we about to come back on this. We another story in the making with DTR. I feel like I can feel the confidence rising in the fan base of this team. And that's been something that, to me at least, has been interesting to hear, because I've been fighting that battle for like 3 years. Right?
You like right what you See, here's the thing about wins, man. When you start to get them wins, them boosts, like back in the day when you used to, back in the day. See, I'm, I ain't gonna age myself, but I'm in an era where, you really had to call a girl's house. You couldn't. There wasn't no cell phones. Wasn't none of that. You had to call, and you better be hoping it is like her dad don't answer the phone and be like, young man, do you know what type of time it is we on? It's a school night. So like back in the day, like think about it. If you went to school and you got a number from this fly joint that you've been trying to get at for a minute, like you
Hey,
automatically.
G, you done dated yourself with that sentence.
Yeah,
You
I know.
said you get another fly joint. I was like,
I could have said honey dip. You get a number and you wasn't even expecting to get it. And she like, yeah, hit me up today. Bro, you got confidence for 3.5 weeks. Don't have no new outfit on the next day. Like you went up 10 points. You went up 10 ticks on your Madden. You progressed right now. That's a badge in 2K. So you got a lot of...
Shout out to G Bush, man, out there putting the rotary phone miles in, like,
yeah. Oh, listen, boy, back in the day, and don't have no girl who had their own phone line. You got a phone line in your room? Shut your mouth. Look.
So I ain't even got to hear your daddy?
No, I ain't even got to go through the gatekeeper no more. I'm in there. So, like, you get that confidence.
See, I am just young enough, but old enough to have gone through the tail end of that. And I remember that was real awkward when you had to call somebody's home phone and be like, hey, Mr. Anderson, is Clarette in the house?
Yeah,
Can I talk to her? Oh, you want to talk to Clarette? Like, oh, yeah. Nah, I don't know. What time is it? I talked to her at school. You know what I mean? She doing homework.
Come on down here and get this phone. That little peanut head boy on there, I seen him. He on the phone for you. Hey, you better. Hey, listen, you got 15 minutes on this phone. I got to use the internet. Back in the day,
you hear somebody breathing on the line. You're like, what is going on? Like,
and her mom be like, you better click over if Nancy's on the line too. Yeah, she's gonna call me back in about 35 minutes. You'd be like,
no, my favorite thing used to be before group text. You used to be able to just mass hey text people, and you just be playing the numbers. You be like, all right, 20, I gotta hit on at least 4.
Which one of these is gonna turn up for your boy?
Yeah, all right. Let's see what I get here.
Or you get let's see, we can do that all day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Look, we didn't even go down the line. You get in college, you like when you be sending that text out, it'd be like 1:30. You'd be like, hey, you up?
Gee, I gotta ask you this question. I know it's gonna date you.
You up?
Nah. Did you make mixed CDs or mixed tapes?
Listen, don't you ask me that question.
I know your glove compartment at one point in time was full. I know you had that flap.
Man, bro. First of all, I was in there with the mixed tapes. Like I had the tapes. Like I was putting and making the tapes, and I was pushing record next to the
radio.
To the radio. And then you had to flip it over. You'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna flip this over. I got a little, and you had,
the B-side.
You low-key had to have like architecture, mathematics to be able to do a tape because you only had a certain amount of minutes.
Nah, then you had to get the pencil, right? If you wanted to get it to cut in right where you needed it to, you had to get the pencil to roll it over a little bit so you can edit it. Yeah.
Listen, edit, and then recording over stuff was another, see, yes. And then mixed CDs came out. Now, mixed CDs, now you got to think, I'm old enough to live through all the eras, right? So when I was young, I was born in 81. So it was the tail end of 8 tracks. Then I had the cassettes. My dad had like a little carrying case in a conversion van. We was just out there doing stuff. Then we had the CDs. So you had that flap, that fold where you had the mixed CDs, and you just, you had your mixes in there. You mix one, Peacoat music. You naming it weird stuff.
No, wait, he had Peacoat music.
Peacoat music. Peacoat music volume 2.
That was like John Legend and the Roots.
That was Neo Soul. What you talking about?
Yeah, so Neo on there. Like, Jill Scott.
Listen, man, come on, man.
I know that was in your twist era too. You definitely, yep.
And then you went into
Let me find MP3. Out you was
MP3. Like I remember, like, said it's like this early. Like I remember our first MP3 player, you know what I'm saying? They had started having a Kanye West and then Chris Brown joints on there. And then you just mature. But I've been blessed to be in all the eras, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like a, you know what I'm saying, a historian of this.
Let me find out that you was out here fermenting juices in your porch.
Bro, we used to have Harry Buffalo, bro. We used to have Harry Buffalo parties, bro. We shut everything down. I'm surprised we get any of that off. I'm like, I be thinking of the legalities of all this stuff in college. You be like, bro, somebody could have ate that fruit and died. You stupid boy. Everclear and all kind of alcohol in here. People, you live on the 4th floor. You was trying to kill somebody. You should have been in jail by now. This is ridiculous. I'm glad you do Brown.
Yeah, you glad social media wasn't around when you was in school, but. Let's get into DTR here.
Yeah.
I put out the expectations because if you look at this Browns defense, they are as good, if not better, than the 2015 Broncos, right?
Yeah.
Who were able to win a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning and Brock Osweiler. And I think Brock Osweiler is probably like, that is the lowest you can go in NFL history at quarterback and be able to achieve great things. I think the highest you can expect is Brock Purdy, right? Like that's the absolute height of what you can expect is what Brock Purdy was last year. If you get that, then you're talking about, you know, somebody who might start for forever, right? But that's the kind of range here I have for DTR.
So what you're doing is are you separating eras? Like, do you got the Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer?
Yeah, I'm making sure that I go within like the modern era, the era we're currently in. Because if you go back then, rules are different, defense was different.
Games is different.
Yeah.
So
Foles?
Like, where do you put Foles at?
Nick Foles, like in that same class, kind of like in between, I would say. Even though he played really good in the playoffs for the Eagles, and it's not the same thing where he has to play like a stretch in the regular season in order to get there. Yeah. But yeah, like it's your defense is on that level of a 2017 Eagles, of a 2015 Broncos, to where you can get away with it for a stretch of time.
Right.
And I think for DTR, if he hits these goals, and let me know what you think about him. The Browns will be able to achieve a lot more than people anticipate. 64% passing, 1,896 yards, 1,896 yards. Total touchdowns. Is that a game? It's about 200, 210, 15.
Right. Okay.
Total touchdowns, total rushing and passing, 13. Total turnovers, under 6. He's 6 or less, right? No more than 6. A quarterback rating of 80, around what Jacoby Brissett had in 2022. He has to only take about 18 sacks. So 18 sacks in 8 games gives you room to take like 2.
2.2.
Yeah, two, a little bit above 2 a game. Pressure to sack percentage, 18%. 5 big time throws, 8 turnover worthy plays. And if you're wondering what how hard it is to get a big time throw, I believe. Shout out to my guy PJ Walker. I think he had like 4 of them things.
He had. There's a couple. Them sideline routes was ridiculous. The one he threw, he threw one.
He had about 4 of them things, but I don't need him to get the same volume as PJ would, because PJ would get you like 30 turnover worthy plays. But 8 turnover worthy plays. You look at Brock Osweiler, 7 big time throws in 2015, 10 turnover worthy plays. Brock Purdy, 3 big time throws, 7 turnover worthy plays. But that's where I think the goal, not the expectation, but the goal for DTR should be to reach. If he hits these goals, I do think that we will be very surprised how far this defense can take this team.
Yeah, like those, and those aren't gaudy. Like those aren't like out of this world. Like, you know, when I look at it, we've been actually, you know, getting, you know, around about that play from all of them, to be truthful. Like I tell people like, hey, listen, Deshaun Watson played lights out that last game, like in the second half, but they haven't been putting 290 on the board. No, they haven't thrown for 300 yards yet this year. I don't think one quarterback.
No, I think the last guy to do it was Jacoby Brissett in the loss to the Bills. But that brings me up to my second point. See, look, this is why I like it to be all here. Right? We set each other up. The chemistry does work out. Now, if you look at what those 2 offenses were and what this Browns offense was with Jacoby Brissett, who I think is about the baseline of what Kevin can get out this offense if he gets enough, right? So last year, the 2015 Broncos, 355 total yards. The 2022 49ers, about 365. Jacoby Brissett in his games last year, 376.9 total yards per game. So above both, right? Passing yards, he was at 222. That's a little bit below what Brock Purdy was at 226, and below what Brock Osweiler was at 248. But the rushing yards, by the way, the Browns are at 151.3 without, in the last 3 weeks, without Nick Chubb. Well, since the bye week, without Nick Chubb per game, which is up from what they were if you even add the Nick Chubb number. So they've been running that thing well. And that's where the Browns are better than both of these teams. They're a better rushing team last year than the 49ers, shockingly, when it comes to total yardage. And they're a better rushing team by far than the 2015 Broncos. Points per game, they averaged about 23. I think in the last 3 weeks, they've averaged 27. And that's above the 27 and the 22 that the Broncos have. And then first downs, 250 in the 8 weeks. Well, if you average it out to 8 weeks with Jacoby Brissett, 386 first downs if you average it out to 16 games, which is well above everybody. There is reason to believe, without thinking that you're crazy, that this can be done with what you have right now. I think the one thing people get wrong about DTR is the reason he shouldn't have been the backup for Deshaun isn't because he's not capable. It's just the fact that he does not have the same play style as Deshaun. PJ Walker plays like Deshaun Watson. Not as talented as Deshaun Watson. We've seen the difference. But when it comes to the shots he's taking downfield, the way it's pretty similar to how Deshaun Watson wants to play. DTR plays it a lot more similar to a Jacoby Brissett, a lot more similar to a Brock Purdy, a lot more similar to those type of guys. And when that's the case, I do think that you can get what you've gotten out of Jacoby Brissett with DTR, and I don't think that would be crazy if it happened. And if you just get that, G, this defense is good enough to where, look, you're not going to be guaranteed to win the Super Bowl just because the 49ers or the Broncos could have done it or did do it. But you do know that, hey, look, man, you could get very far in this thing. And the quarterback is not going to be the reason why, but it might not be the reason you can't. And that is important.
When I look at, there's a couple of things that you match with that I think that helped the Browns out too. As I look at the AFC, I'm not scared. I mean, there's been years where you look at the Kansas City Chiefs and you be like, okay, it's the Chiefs. Like the Tyreek Hill and the Kelsey and the Mahomes and there's years where you ain't got much. You got to tell. Even when we go back to when we had Baker and we was going back and forth with the Chiefs, there was a sense that you had to score a certain amount of points. It wasn't gonna be no like, oh yeah, we're gonna get 17 and feel comfortable. We're gonna get stops. That wasn't the case with them. This year, there's people telling me like, Patrick Mahomes is not the same Patrick Mahomes. Not like he ain't got it in him, but he hasn't wowed a bunch of people. They've struggled offensively, and I think to be truthful, that their offense is just not as explosive as it used to. They've been going on sustained drives and doing that type of thing. You look at it, the Jets were supposed to be a great team. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers put a damper on that situation. And look at the Bills. They just fired their offensive coordinator. They just fired Ken Dorsey. I mean, these guys, not to mention, you look at the Bengals who now are in a playoff game. I call this a playoff game with the Ravens tonight on Thursday night. You look at, hey, they've been struggling. You take a look at the Bills who have not been lighting the world on fire. And all of a sudden, the Miami Dolphins ain't really looking like the juggernaut that they were at one point in time. So it's the AFC on top of the fact that there's two or three things that really travel when you talk about in playoffs and cold weather. That run game, playing special teams and having guys that can make field goals, playing a field position game with the punt game, and then finally having Omega level mutants on the other side of the football in defense. There's one thing that y'all don't got. We got an Omega level Phoenix Force type guy. When you got Magneto on your squad, you're in trouble. Like you just got Magneto got rid of that. Listen, all right, you got Wolverine, get out of here. You can't use Beast. No one cares about Cyclops. That's why it is what it is. When you got one of them dudes over there and Myles Garrett that can play like that, and he got guys that's playing, that's ball hawking now. Quiet as kept, Quincy. We talked about the turnovers. Why we getting turnovers? Why we now creeping up the list in turnovers, right? We getting turnovers and scores now.
You looking at turnover margin? Because again, the Broncos, and I know people are going to be like, well, the Broncos didn't turn the ball over like the Browns do this year. No, not true. Not true, G. Bush. The Broncos in 2015 had a -4 turnover margin. The Browns have a -4 turnover margin, which, by the way, that has been rapidly shrinking the last few weeks. So that is something to take note of. Is like,
we didn't even rehearse this. We didn't even rehearse these stats. I just got on.
The defense is getting better. And I think that's something for people to know. The stuff early in the season that really bugged this defense was what? Zone. And that's the stuff that's going to take some time to get used to. Okay, this is how we run it. These are the rules in our zone. This is how we go here. This is who's supposed to talk, who's supposed to do the push call, who's supposed to do that. What am I supposed to do? Okay, when I see this, like that's the stuff that, hey, you got to wait a couple weeks in the season to get to. And now you're getting to that point to where it's like, okay, now we're getting to the point where we have enough chemistry around each other that we can be a solid zone team too, on top of man. And now you're starting to see this defense really hit its stride. And the one thing that gives me hope about this defense more than any is they acknowledged that fourth quarter against the Seahawks was an absolute failure. Like, I know nobody locally or nationally put the burden of that loss on them. They put it on PJ Walker, right? But that loss was on the defense. Because I don't care how great you play for 3 quarters, like, you can't let that happen. And they've been thinking about that ever since. And you know what? Hats off to them. They have not put their foot off the gas since then, right? They come out against Arizona. They start off hot. They close off hot. They get their first shutout in 2014 since 2007, my bad, 2007. And you know why? Because every other Browns defense in that situation would have took their foot off the gas. How many times have we seen it with the Joe Woods defenses where they take their foot off the gas and they're like, no. Even when you got your backups in, that don't mean you take your foot off the gas. And they did not take their foot off the gas. They were on Clayton Tune's neck, and they weren't going to let Clayton Tune think he can do anything against them. And that's Carolina. That Cardinals team is not terrible, right? They were in every game that they played up until that point, and then they just won last week, right? So they're not a terrible team like everybody was making it out to be. They're just not very good because, I mean, they've been playing Josh Dobbs and Clayton Tune all year, right? But my point is like, this defense has a kill switch on them. Fourth quarter, I believe they outscored Lamar Jackson, right? The defense alone. Like, they knew what time it was. Okay, we gave up this little funky score. Okay, that sucks. And they almost shut it down, to be honest, once James Prochet did it. But what needed to happen for Baltimore to even score in that fourth quarter was James Prochet dropping a punt.
That's it.
It was locked down. That fourth quarter.
They had the turnover
and
the
3 holding pennies. They got an interception.
So think about it. If you look at them little penalties, they got a pick six, the second play of the game. Old boy dropped a punt. They had to get 17 penalties to get points right there. That's 14 right there. How many did they score? 31? Mm-hmm. So that means you went into Baltimore and you gave up 16, 17 points? Mm-hmm. Like you they're not doing anything. You gave them the ball there. So it's not as if Baltimore came out there and was putting up massive numbers and putting the drives together. Hey, they couldn't get, and they blocked another punt, blocked another field goal. So the special teams has also been one of the units that's stopping points. So for me, I'm glad you broke it down in the way you broke it down, because sometimes people gonna say, "Oh, you just drinking the Kool-Aid. Y'all just trying to be homers. You're trying to be positive." But when you get behind the numbers and when you start to look at the way that this football team plays games and the strengths of what they do, everything that they do well, they still have intact. They haven't. It is not like quarterback play has been carrying us to this point. It hasn't. We've been, mediocre at best when it comes to quarterback play. But what other stuff that we've been doing well? Running the football, being physical, that defense, the making field goals, making and getting the points when you can, flipping field position, all of that stuff has worked well. So I'm looking at it like this. Not only this, but if you get a win today, Q, or Sunday, you get a win. I tell people like this: that means you're 7-3. You closer than the Kansas City Chiefs are than you are to the Cincinnati Bengals. They're 7-2 right now. Like you one game in back of Kansas City, and we talking about home field advantage. And it's not crazy. It's not.
And this is why I think this game is important. You get to 7-3. I don't care who there for the rest of the season. They gonna believe. Right.
Everybody.
You get to 7-3. Ain't no, oh man, if we only had Deshaun. Oh man, if we only had Nick. You get to 7-3. It's all right. Let's get him. Let's get him. We got 8 games left. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. Right. That's what it is.
And you've already, and the crazy part about it is the way the schedule is set up, you've already took care of all your AFC North games. Like you're done with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're done with the Ravens. You have the Bengals, but that's the last game of the season. Who knows what'll be going on down then? So now you look at the games where, now I will agree, some of these games will be more, I will say these games are going to be a little closer, and there's going to have a little back and forth, because you look at Denver. Denver's playing better right now. They was a laughing stock earlier. The Rams still have guys like Cooper Kupp, and, they'll throw the ball around. That's on the road. You still have the Jaguars, who, were a playoff team last year. They're going to be fighting. And then you see Jay Stroud and the Texans. You know what they bring to the table. He's hot. So all those games, the Browns are going to have to go win. They're not going to just go out there.
And they're not going to sleepwalk through the rest of this schedule, right? They're not playing Rutgers for 8 weeks. They're playing some good teams. Yeah. But they are also a good team.
Yes.
And the one thing I would say with this Browns team and why it's different is, look, when you feel like you have a good unit, that's different than we got the best one of these in the league. Right. And the Browns are kind of like a big 3. Yeah, Nick Chubb, he a franchise player. Yes, Deshaun Watson, he's supposed to be a franchise player. But you still got Braun, right? And Braun is 95, right? Like, that's who you got at the end of the day. And as long as you got that, you straight. Like, that's the thing. The Browns have had these years. Well, this is just tells you how different it is, man. Because a player the caliber of Deshaun or Nick Chubb going out, those are season enders in years past. But the only reason those have not ended the season is because we got so many of them where we're like, nah, we got 3 franchise players on this team, right? Yeah. Nick Chubb went down. Damn, that hurt, right? That hurt. Deshaun Watson went down right after he showed you it might be back. Damn, that hurt. You still got Miles.
We did that with. We did this with 3rd and 4th backup tackles. Like we still getting 150 a game with backup tackles. Like we didn't even have DeJuan Jones. I keep forgetting dude's name on the left-hand side that came in and ball.
Oh, like, Garyon Christian.
I'm gonna have to write that down 3 times fast because I don't even. But come on, you had Christian and James Hudson getting money off in Baltimore. Come on now. Come on. Listen, that's what we saying. Like, and quiet as kept, I don't know how you felt about this, but I felt Jerome Ford looked like he got the message. Somebody told him, man, you better stop tipping them outside zone play. You better cut that up.
He was downhill, and he going to have to do that again this week. Kareem Hunt is a dog against the Steelers too. But
he's a monster.
G, I got to ask you a question.
All right.
Now, I know you played on a lot of scrimmage. I'm pretty sure you've had moments where you've been on both sides of them push piles.
Yes.
Tell us what it's like, first and foremost, what it's like to be on the right side of a push pile, and then tell us what it's like to be Roquan Smith at the end of that push pile.
So I played line in high school, and when you move in a rock like that, I played with a lot of good guys, and one D1 and when you got the advantage up front, it's almost like you feel like you playing with your little brother. Like you playing 60%, but if you really wanted to show him, like, come on, bro, you ain't got this. That's what the push pile is. It's just it's disrespectful because you start you especially when more and more people start jumping on there. And then you got little Elijah Moore behind you pushing too. It's just that's what you hit the sled for. That's why you hit the sled in 2-a-days, because you want that. And when you get that happening, see, there's soul points on the line here. This is not just regular football points and yards and first downs. These are soul points. And soul points are devastating when you have them taken from you. Like, there was nothing they could do in Baltimore when they started pushing that pile, because pretty much after he did that, the game was over.
Yeah.
Game was over. There was nothing. There was no fight left. There was no dog to a man. It's the equivalent of bending the knee to Daenerys Targaryen in front of her 3 dragons.
Now, what it's like when you supposed to be the man stopping the pile, and they keep pushing.
You immediately think they're gonna get my ass during film on this one. They're gonna catch me in film on this one.
Now, do you hit? My favorite thing when you see a 3-tech do is like when something like that happens, is they hit that. I'm gonna drop to one knee.
You better drop
get on the side and put my arms up like this.
You got to sacrifice yourself. You got to sacrifice yourself. And that's the problem. They did not sacrifice themselves and start a pile, because it's hard. You can't road tread over somebody like that. That's the point. It should have never gotten to that, because nobody, but here's the thing. Nobody wanted to pay that price. Mm-hmm. There's a price to be paid if you the first dude. Like that's a painful death. Like, so if you on the other side of this, the first thing you're thinking of is, okay, I at least might want to just jump in this pile, because they're going to eviscerate me if I'm on the outside looking in as this pile's getting pushed forward. The second thing you're thinking about is like, dang, bro, if I'm getting pushed back, I don't even know what's going on with my teammate under the pile that's getting pushed back further than me.
The worst thing about it is when the team joins the pile. If you're a DB, you got no excuse not to be there. Your man's pushing the pile. Like, you know how DBs like to be, where it's like, all right, we ain't trying to get in out. Let's just act like we blocking each other. All right. You know what I mean? All right, good play. Like,
that's what they call a brother-in-law in the game. Don't brother-in-law the drill. Don't you do that. Like, you gotta go hard.
Just a little quick, like, all right, we ain't got to be in the pile. We both are okay. Nah, but with Elijah Moore back there pushing the pile, it's like, yo, dog, now I got to be here.
Now you got to leave, and then they trying to watch that their feet don't get stepped on with the big man cleats. They're like, come on, man, I ain't really even supposed to be in here.
And you ain't trying to get rolled on. You try to just like stand around the pile and put your hands vaguely on the back of somebody.
Whoa. And you just
that was such a statement.
That whistle coming, Q. You just like, please blow the whistle. Please blow the whistle.
But that was a statement. That was we are more physical than you. We came into your house and took it. And we already in field goal range. Now we gonna put that dagger in you. That was the football equivalent to the lay fuck you 3, right? Like that was basically the same thing, which is like, it's already close to over, but let me just, dog. Yeah.
The slow blade right in the side. You'd be like, oh, come on, man.
And look, bro, I know what it feels like to be had it done on us, because it sucks when it happens to us. But that's the difference in this team. G, appreciate you coming on here, man. Make sure y'all check out G on the Barbershop and on UCSS or wherever you see him, 93.2 The Fan or 92.3 The Fan, wherever. He might be on both of them shits. Yeah.
107.9.
Yeah, the Kool-Aid Network, whatever it is. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you show them some love. Always appreciate having them on here. We eventually get to football, and we got to football. We work our way there. We ain't in a rush. You know what I mean?
The brothers hang out. I just want to talk a little bit.
We don't get to talk all the time. You know what I mean?
Catch up.
But y'all have a great one. Everybody else have an even better night. Peace.
Peace.